What's the worst birthday present you've received? Story 1. Clothes on layaway, which I never got. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the concept, I'm not sure if it's employed outside of America, honestly. Layaway was a system where you could essentially reserve items. If you found something you liked but didn't have the money, you took it to the layaway counter where it was kept until you had paid the item in full. I was taken clothes shopping, something which rarely happens as we never had much money growing up, and told I had a $300 limit. I was ecstatic. The clothes I had been wearing for years, which had rips, tears, holes, stains, and had been the subject of plenty of ridicule from many people at school, were finally on their way out for new stylish clothes. After spending an hour picking out a variety of different designs and brands, we work our way to the register, only for my mother to stop me and exclaim, "I forgot my cash." "Not to worry," she said. "We'll put it on layaway and come back for it tomorrow." There was never a tomorrow. She did this many times during my life with different events, Christmas, Easter, and it never hurt any less. As a result, I don't bother celebrating my birthday as an adult. I always have a tiny vision in the back of my head of all those clothes fit for an excited 10-year-old boy collecting dust in the back of an aging store alone. No, I never told my mother about this, but it would not have mattered otherwise. I have no idea why she did this. I've always suspected her to be bipolar and under constant stress, which leads to moments like this. I am the oldest of the 3 boys, so I often gave up many things so my brothers could benefit. Sometimes willingly, mostly unknowingly. I can't say her true intentions that day were to get my hopes up and dash them. However, this was not the first time she did something of this nature. She promised me a computer on my 12th birthday, something I'd wanted for many years. But when I constantly asked her where it was the following week, a week after my birthday, she said she had taken it back because I was bad. I could go on, but I don't want to bash her. Despite what she's done to me, she's still my mother, and I respect that. Of all the stories in here, this one made me the saddest. The thought of you being so excited and then disappointed makes me want to cry. It's great that this person is respecting their mom. It sounds like he's trying to reach and find out what the issue is, and not just have it be a blame my mother is evil kind of thing. I wouldn't be too upset if this person was just a little more upset about this. Maybe not to confront their mother, but to just dig deeper and find out what the problem is. Story 2. My mom and stepdad married the day after my 10th birthday. From then on, my mom told me I had 10 birthdays, but they hadn't had that many anniversaries, so my birthday didn't matter. And of course, my stepdad is a real tool, so it's not like he disagreed. They generally got me things like socks, and on my 16th, my stepdad grounded me for being on the internet working on my summer project, some extra credit at the start of the term for one of my classes. When he got home from work, we only had one computer, and he needed it for what I assume was corn right then. I was grounded the entire summer and not allowed to use the computer, nor go to the library since I was grounded. I really wanted the extra credit because the teacher was a notorious hard roller. I didn't get it, but I did well anyhow. Fast forward to my next birthday. In the year in between, I'd been horribly depressed and taken to self-mutilation. Mom finds out and sticks me in therapy only after my aunt tells her she has to. My family has a history of depression. My mom tried to commit self-unaliving a few months before she married my stepdad. So I spent a few months before my birthday in therapy, and at one point, birthdays come up. I tell my therapist that they haven't done anything for mine and my mom's reason. She keeps the shrink face on and just nods, jotting down a note. Well, come my birthday, I get a card in the mail from her, a CD of a band I liked, and a subscription to a magazine I told her I liked but didn't get to read anywhere but her waiting room. Popular Science. My mom was livid and canceled further appointments. My stepdad brought me home a hedgehog, a pet I'd often said I really wanted. Thankfully, he had the tendency to collect strange animals, so everything I'd need for one was already in the house, as he brought it home in a box. Nothing else with it. I bought it hedge food promptly after setting it up in a cage. So that was sweet of him. He listened and knew what I wanted, and knew I wanted something, and maybe he felt bad for what my mom did, at least in part. I loved that silly hedgehog, too. Aw. Well, it sounds like there was kind of a turnaround for, the stepdad. Maybe they had some inroads there. And it sounds like that therapist really wanted to work things out with the entire family and not have it be something where the kid was being blamed for everything. Story 3. Not mine, my sister's. It was her 9th birthday. I was 6, and the party was, for a 9-year-old, off the hook. We had all the kids from the neighborhood, the cousins, school friends, and hell, some kids just showed up. Big cake, balloons, music, and all the parents were drinking wine and laughing. Things got rowdy. We were running around the house playing tag or something. Heck, I don't know. I was 6. We might have just been running around. My cousin, 2 years senior and 30 pounds heavier, comes barreling down the stairs. I turn the corner, he slams right into me, and I am literally flying through the air. The house was pretty old at the time and featured a second front door, like a screen door, only made of glass. If it helps, imagine Grandpa Simpson saying, "It was the style at the time," because I've never seen another like it. I smash side first into the thing, break it into a million pieces. My entire arm is cut up, including an especially impressive slice right along the inside of my elbow and from my upper eyelid to hairline through my eyebrow. Blood everywhere, kids screaming, my sister like a freaking trooper trying to calm everyone down. It's been nearly 2 decades. I can still remember her calm as a dang army sergeant saying, "Okay, the party is over. Everyone find your parents," as I'm being hurried to the car. In the end, 15 stitches on the arm, 5 on the forehead, and I had to wear a cast for about a month. My sister fussed and fretted over me for nearly a year after that. Pretty traumatized. Oh, and I got her a Wonder Woman comic. I don't know what happened to it. Too long didn't read? I was body checked through a glass door and painted the porch red on my sister's 9th birthday, and she never got her present. You know, I think the sister deserves all the Wonder Woman comics she can get, because she acted like Wonder Woman in that. She was a hero. She took charge. She cared for her brother. Definitely sprang to action. Amazing. She didn't need the Wonder Woman comic. She deserves them, but she is Wonder Woman. Story 4. I was looking forward to my 8th birthday for weeks because I had found my present in my parents' closet. It was a sick T-Rex figurine wearing these freaking cool as hell dark sunglasses. I couldn't sleep the night before the big day. I lay in bed wide awake for about 5 hours just shivering because I was so excited. I woke up and actually got sick at one stage. Pretty weird, but I was an excitable kid, I guess. On the day of my birthday, I was literally sweating at the dinner table after the cake, and my brow was dripping wet because I knew my mom was going into her room to get the present. My knees were shaking uncontrollably, and I started getting slightly dizzy. I thought it was just the sugar or the whipped cream from my cake that was making me nauseous, so I didn't say a word. I just sat there about to explode, staring intently with furious concentration at the door. When she finally came in, literally as she was mouthing the words, "Happy birthday," an excruciating pain shot up from where my appendix used to be, had gotten it removed a year earlier, and into just underneath my ribs. I tried my best to ignore it because I wanted that T-Rex so freaking much. It got worse and worse, and I was trying so hard to keep a straight face and just keep staring at my mom, who had stopped talking and was now looking at me in horror because I had gone beetroot red. One more shot of pain, and I blacked out. Woke up in the hospital. It turns out I had a hernia. I was so excited I had burst a few blood vessels in my temples from trying to suppress the pain. Still got the T-Rex, so I guess it wasn't that bad. Story 5. For my 18th birthday, I just had a party. No presents required. I just wanted a nice normal get-together by the pool. Emphasis on normal. My addict uncle overdosed on prescription substances at my party. He took about 30 more than he should have. They were muscle relaxers since he had a slipped disc. This was pretty usual behavior, so I wasn't that upset. I walked into the house and asked what happened to him. Grandma said she told him that he needed to go swim it off in our pool and didn't understand why everyone was so upset. At least the EMTs were friendly. Half of my friends excused themselves and left early. My best friend and her boyfriend stayed, and we just wandered off after my uncle left and did stuff on our own. We came back, and my mother announced she was leaving to live with her boyfriend across the country. I just wanted a normal party. Sometimes I think my family is insane, but then I read stories like this. Story 6. Latecomer, so probably will be buried, and my mom's rather than mine. She was born on the 23rd of December. Her mom has always made these nasty veiled comments about how my mom took a Christmas from her. I'm also pretty sure my mom was an unplanned baby, as my grandparents were in their 40s when they had her, which is really damned old, especially for the early 60s. They never really celebrated her birthday. They just called her Christmas presents Christmas/birthday presents. One year, they actually did buy her birthday presents in addition to Christmas presents. This was the year their house got robbed and all their presents stolen. Naturally, as a mom, she regarded present giving at holidays as basically a sacred act. My siblings and I always had kick-butt birthday parties with crazy homemade cakes and super awesome themes. We celebrated half birthdays with half cakes and smaller presents. And every Christmas, we got presents not only from Santa, our parents, and our siblings, but also some from the cats and stuff. And we always had separate birthday celebrations for my mom. Your mom sounds freaking amazing. To me, it does sound a little bit like she is compensating, maybe overcompensating for the fact that she had such a bad birthday experience growing up. But I don't know if it's unhealthy. I mean, they have great times celebrating. I've really never heard of people celebrating half birthdays. That's kind of cool. But I'm glad that, as long as they're not bankrupting themselves in celebrating this just because they have to, it's great that they get to have such an experience. I've never gotten a birthday present from my cat, though. Story 7. I had an aunt who always gave me the worst presents on earth. Since my parents raised me to always be thankful, I would never say or do anything about it, as that would be disrespectful. She had a habit of buying socks from a bargain store, 6 for $1, and I'd get 1 pack. They were so cheap they would get holes on the first use. On my 15th birthday, she handed me a wrapped box. I was tentative, tore the paper off, and it was an Oki dot matrix cartridge for a printer I didn't even own. So I smiled, told her I appreciated it, and truly did, for anything was better than those dang socks, and figured I could return it to Staples for $5 store credit. Later that night, I opened the box to make sure everything was there, and there were socks stuffed in it. I put a pair on, and the ankle section ripped off in my hand and came up to my knee. I'm still not sure why you kept putting on the socks. Story 8. This needs some background. In between games of StarCraft 2, my friend and I would go onto a webcam site and have a little competition to find the ugliest model. Of course, I would win often. Some of these models you could buy certain things off of them for tokens. So one day on my birthday week, my friend invited me into his house and gave me a gift bag. I instantly know something is wrong because my friend is handing me a present. I slowly took the wrapping out, instantly filling the room with a strong, strong perfume. I instantly realized that sitting before me is a pair of leopard-spotted panties from one of the people I chose during our little game. I should include that inside were blotches of red stains glazed with genital secretions. Best or worst? I don't know, but it's pretty dang funny. I should also add that my friend didn't have a credit card at the time. We were 16, and had his parents buy it for him. They were thrilled to do it. Sadists. I like how you knew something was wrong because your friend handed you a present for your birthday. Story 9. Well, first is my brother's horrible birthday story. On his 19th birthday, my mom attempted self-unaliving in our house. The entire day was spent trying to figure out what the hell happened to her. Dad decided not to tell us, and why an entire room was covered in blood. Now for my bad birthday story. It's not too bad, but I figured I'd share. On my 10th birthday, a phone line fell over, almost setting our woods on fire. Then the power went out. Next, our basement flooded with about a foot of water. This was all while my dad was across the country and couldn't help us. We spent the whole day waiting for the plumber and then hoping the electricity would come back on. I accidentally read, on my 10th birthday, a phone fell over, almost setting our woods on fire. And I was like, must have been a Nokia. I'm going to focus on the second story, and it's awful that that happened. And it's just awful that it was just stuff that was out of their control. It would have been all right if they could have gone somewhere and celebrated, but they had to be responsible and wait for people to come in so that they wouldn't lose their house. It's bad, but it was kind of unavoidable. It still sucks. Story 10. My family doesn't have a lot of money, so I don't normally get a lot of stuff for my birthday, or anything really. I'm normally totally fine with this, except on my 15th birthday. I woke up that morning to see flowers, really nice flowers, on the counter with a card. Immediately, I went to thank my dad for doing something so thoughtful for my birthday. Nope, they were for my stepmom. He could spend money on my stepmom, but not even get me a card for my birthday? Wow, the same thing happened to me. I was in London for my birthday with my mother. There's a knock on the door on my birthday morning, and it's a bellboy with a box and flowers. I opened it up, and it wasn't for me. It was for my mother from her husband, not my father. The note said, "Hope you made it and that Katie doesn't ruin your trip." Story 11. Last year for my 31st birthday, here's what my wife got me. I told her I don't want any gifts. I would rather spend time with her. So the night before my birthday, she lets me take her out to dinner at a very nice, read pricey, restaurant where she spends the entire time on her phone on Twitter and Facebook. The next night, she threw me a birthday party. She invites her friends. I get to do all the cooking and cleanup from it while she patted herself on the back. I'm very happy that she's now my ex-wife. For my ex-husband's 30th birthday, I got him a custom-made lefty lap steel. For mine, I received permission to go out with my friends, but he didn't want to go because he thought they were all losers and drama queens. I still have my friends, not so much the husband. Story 12. When I was about to turn 5, I asked anyone and everyone for my own NES. Every kid I hung out with in the neighborhood had one but me. I wouldn't even have to buy games, I could just borrow them. I woke up on the morning of my 5th birthday. My father led me downstairs and looked eagerly towards the TV. He led me past the TV, out the side door, to a pile of newspapers. He had taken the basket off of the bike and very awkwardly and ineptly welded it to my bike, ignoring the fact that it should have screwed on. He had also tied the handle of my red wagon to the back of my bike, and somehow in all of this, he had punctured my back tire. His gift was that on the first day, he had folded the papers for me. It took me 6 months to get an NES, and by then the SNES was already being advertised to come out in little over a year. It also didn't help that due to my father being religious, 10% of all my money went to the church as a tithe and 15% to my college fund, which my mom stole around my 15th birthday so she could move to London and remarry a British guy. So, at 5, his birthday present was not an NES, but a job. Assigned a job, a paper route, at 5. I am all for someone learning how to be self-sufficient. I hope that's what they learned. But to have it foisted on you with just no conversation, that communication should have been there. And also, college funds stolen so the mom could run off to marry someone else and it didn't get replaced? This guy really needed to be self-sufficient very soon.
Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day.
Story 13. My 19th birthday. A bottle of Angostura bitters. I don't drink. It was wrapped in a piece of blank paper scrunched around the bottom and taped around the neck. It had been opened. It was sincere. My addict-head alcoholic ex-housemate drank my Angostura bitters straight in an attempt to get drunk. He would drink or eat anything that I would leave in the kitchen and eventually in my room. Story 14. I was an army brat, which means we moved frequently. Since I was born over the summer, it was pretty normal to be in the process of moving on my birthday. We also didn't have much money, so new toys and books were pretty special. For my 10th birthday and my 6th move, I got my very own suitcase. I was pretty devastated. To this day, my parents don't understand why that wasn't the best present ever. I spent my 18th birthday ripping up the carpet in my childhood room so that we could sell the house. It was great. My super awesome girlfriend threw me a surprise party a month later. Man, I was surprised. Story 15. 8th birthday. A bunch of toy cars and trucks and stuff. Not stuff I actually like to play with, but stuff my younger cousins would like. Why? I had just been diagnosed with leukemia and was supposed to expire in a couple of months, so they gave me stuff they could hand down to my cousins after I croaked. I didn't expire. And I gave my grandmother, aunt, and uncle hell about that for years. In the end, Grandma and Uncle both expired of cancer. Story 16. My little sister got my bike when I turned 6. The bike my mom and dad got me was apparently too small, so they gave it to her. I got to sit on the front porch and watch her ride up and down the sidewalk on the pretty pink bike with the plastic flowers on the white basket and the tassels on the handlebars that were supposed to be mine. I'm 23 and still extremely bitter about this. Story 17. When I was around 8 or so, there was nothing I wanted more than a fish tank for my bedroom. So naturally, Mom did not want to get me a live animal that would require care and attention, as she didn't think I was up to it. Instead, got me a VHS tape of fish that swam across a TV screen. She thinks it's hilarious and still brings it up every chance she gets. As an aquarium enthusiast, I am sorry. That stinks. Story 18. My mom and her uncle's birthday is on the 15th. Mine is on the 30th. For their combined birthday party, they decided to throw it on the 20th, inviting practically everyone in our family, forgetting about my 10th birthday. Not one person remembered, not even my mom. I was so angry and upset that I didn't even remind them and only told my nan when she saw that I wasn't having a good time at the party, so she scrounges around the house and found me a basket of potpourri. Story 19. On the day of my birthday, but before I was born, a family member perished. Now my grandma calls me up not to wish me happy birthday, but rather to mourn. Since then, there have been 2 more birthdays on which somebody has perished. On the bright side, I've now had 5 consecutive fatality-free birthdays. Hooray! This is one of those moments when you say hooray with a comment, then 2 seconds later you realize this is one of the saddest things to celebrate ever. Story 20. I got 3 books. I'd read them all already. I already owned all 3 of them, but they had disappeared a couple days before. The books I got had my name already written in the front of them. I did this to my mom for Christmas one year, except that I was 5 and I didn't know how else to get presents for her. Story 21. Not my story, but a friend of mine. Friend's parents are both doctors. On his 10th birthday, they tell him to go to the hospital for some lunch, then suddenly, boom, guy got circumcised. I kid you not. I imagine that being boom, and his foreskin fell off. Story 22. I was about 5. I got this round present from my uncle once that was about the size of my head at the time. I opened it, and lo and behold, it was an onion. A giant freaking onion. Now, I wasn't a picky child at all, but everyone knew I hated onions. I was also very gullible, so I started crying. I didn't even pretend I liked it. As soon as I started to cry, my uncle stopped laughing and took my real present out from behind his back. It was one of those children's sets of plastic musical instruments. I was so happy. I think it was because anything was better than a stupid onion. My uncle took the joke gift back, and apparently they had onion soup that night. Too long didn't read? Don't get a joke gift for a 5-year-old. That's actually adorable. Story 23. When my parents were first together before they were married, my grandmother bought my dad a soap on a rope with the sale 50p tag still on it. She still has to put up with him bringing it up every birthday/Christmas. More like she reaps what she totally sowed every birthday/Christmas. You give someone clearance soap on a rope for a gift, and you deserve to be reminded of it until you give that person a gift so awesome that it cancels out your awful gift. Story 24. My gran passed away on my 16th birthday. She was 97, and for years she always said she wanted to reach 100 and get the Queen's telegram. She passed away due to kidney failure. My great-grandfather perished on my 16th birthday. My great-grandmother had perished the year before, and it was obvious he wasn't going to make it much longer. At midnight, I walked in and said, "We did it, Papa. It's my birthday." 2 hours later, his kidneys finally shut down on him. Also, my other great-grandmother perished 2 weeks before her 100th birthday. Story 25. For his 18th birthday, my boyfriend got a car. I got $50 and wasn't allowed to have a party as my father doesn't like people coming over. Cue my sister's 13th birthday. She gets a party with 50 to 60 people in a rented hall and gets a total of about $500+. My parents aren't sure what to get her as her actual birthday is about a week away, on top of paying about $400 for the party. For my 16th birthday, they moved me to another country. Surprise! No, really, my parents actually hate me. His birthday. My parents don't like him that much. Story 26. My ex was hiding autism from me, gave me a nickel. Whoa, but not just any nickel. This nickel just happened to be in between 2 planks of wood, nailed together, wrapped up in a gigantic ball of duct tape, 2 rolls of duct tape, covered by 3 rolls of tin foil, and plastic wrap. Story 27. For my 16th birthday, every family member and close family friend was there. Even Grandma flew into town for the special day. I was so excited for my sweet 16th birthday. Too bad no one remembered it was my birthday. They were all there to see my brother graduate from high school. My mother remembered once we got home, and I went to my room and cried. Plus, I got yelled at by my dad for being a brat. Story 28. I would get socks as a kid. It really sucks to get socks when you're a preteen, but it's freaking awesome when you're an adult. Brand new white cotton socks straight from the package are like spicy time for your feet. Only thing better is straight out of the dryer after their first wash. Story 29. My grandma had a thing about giving me and my cousins 21-pound coins on our 21st. When it came to my youngest cousin's 21st, my gran was pretty far gone with dementia, and my cousin got a bag of 20 assorted coins that came to the value of just under 3 pounds. It was depressing in so many ways. Story 30. My 16th birthday. Had to have a joint party with my baby cousin who turned 1, so everyone got her presents and took tons of pictures of her, and her birthday wasn't even for another week. I got pairs of underwear, and a few days later, I got my permit. My sister's 16th birthday? She's going to Paris for a week in June. Story 31. When I was 12, I received the soundtrack to Snakes on a Plane, featuring such hits as Snakes on a Plane, Bring It. I'm assuming it's a bad thing to admit. I actually enjoyed that album. Story 32. Worst birthday present. Socks, when I was 5 years old. Best birthday present? Socks, when I was 35 years old. Story 33. When it was my 5th birthday, I was celebrating with cake. My dog started eating it and passed away because of it. I miss Stanley. He died happy. Story 34. My birthday was yesterday, actually. A few of my friends pooled their money together and purchased me a copy of WinRAR. Well, look, at least you don't need to feel bad about closing that reminder window now. Story 35. My older brother gave me his bike for my birthday. The same bike he gave me for my last 2 birthdays and Christmas. He gave me the exact same bike 3 times. Story 36. I bought a new iPod on my birthday with saved up work money. My mom took it away that night because I might watch Korn on it. Let's be honest, you were definitely going to. Story 37. When I was 17, my rockhead aunt gave me a brown paper bag full of plastic spoons and forks. 10 minutes later, she asked if she could borrow $20 from me. I'm sort of hoping you said no. Story 38. My aunt knows that I'm agnostic and hate cooking, so she gave me a cooking book called Cooking with Jesus. All Mexican recipes. Oh, so it was probably supposed to be pronounced Jesus. Story 39. For my 16th birthday, I got a leaf blower with a card saying, "Get to work." I'm not Mexican. My parents wanted me to do the lawn. You should have sold it. That would make it the best gift. Story 40. A box containing my father's ashes, a copy of the paper with the obituary, and a check to buy enough alcohol to escape for the next 3 months. Don't be modest. It was a good 6 months. Story 41. My aunt gave me dolphin towels with my name embroidered on them. I was 17. My mom thought my aunt might be mentally challenged after that. Dude, those sound freaking rad. Story 42. On my 21st birthday, I was a pallbearer at my friend's funeral. He expired driving drunk. And by strange coincidence, today is my birthday. I miss you, buddy. Internet hug. Story 43. Justin Bieber toothbrush. I heard using that as a celeb will cure an addict of their spicy time edition. Story 44. For my 18th birthday, I received a bottle of deodorant from my aunt and uncle. Story 45. A savage beating from my dad for calling his second wife a party girl. Story 46. My godparents gave me a gold ID bracelet when I was 16, which would have been nice if they had spelled my name correctly on it. I gave it to a friend who spelled her name that way.
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.